Good afternoon, welcome to BU TV News at noon. I'm Petros Kasfikis.
And I'm Alessandra Martinez, leading the news at this hour. The Danvers High School teen accused of murdering his teacher will be arraigned today in Salem Superior Court. 14-year-old Philip Chisholm allegedly raped and killed his teacher, Colleen Ritzer, in late October in the school bathroom. School surveillance footage reportedly caught Chisholm wheeling his teacher out of the school in a recycling bin. He faces charges of first-degree rape, murder, and armed robbery and will be tried as an adult.
The case of a New York woman accused of scamming the One Fund is heading back to court today. Investigators are saying that Audra Gose used the fake medical records to pretend she was a victim of the Boston Marathon bombing. She allegedly fraudulently received nearly $500,000. Prosecutors believe Gose was not in Boston during the day of the attack. Potential new evidence give an unexpected turn in the investigation of the Lunenburg racist graffiti case. WCVB reporter John Atwater has a story.
You're not going to get anything from.
Although police have not identified any suspect, officers say that they are close to make an arrest in the coming days.
Another change for the environment is happening in our own backyard. Brookline is joining cities around the nation in banning the use of plastic bags. BUTV 10's Dexter McCoy has that story.
Stop and Shop, Trader Joe's, and other.
While the ban took effect on Sunday, Brookline officials will not begin enforcement until January. The Massachusetts Gaming Commission is delaying a vote on potentially placing a casino in Revere. The vote to have Suffolk Downs partner with Mohegan Sun has members of the commission's panel leaning away from installing a Revere-only casino. A majority of members say they do not believe Revere will hold a second referendum on the proposal, and the commission says it will decide whether or not to accept Mohegan Sun next week.
Former Republican legislation Carrie Polito is set to announce her candidacy for lieutenant governor this week. This comes after leading Republican candidate for governor Charlie Baker announced her as his running mate in the 2014 election. Polito ran successfully for state treasurer in 2010, though she received more votes than Baker in his failed bid for governor in the same year. Former U.S. Senator Scott Brown will headline the New Hampshire GOP dinner later this month. This announcement has only furthered speculations of Brown's plans to run for Senate in the state national. Republicans are pushing for his candidacy for the Senate seat currently held by Democrat Jenny Sahin. Despite the speculation, Brown has remained quiet about his plan for his political future, though he has changed his Twitter handle to reflect his former title as senator. At this hour, the president is speaking about inequality in his call to raise the federal minimum wage, which currently stands at $7.25 an hour. Obama voiced his concerns in the continued plight of low-wage workers in light of a growing gap between rich and poor. Democrats on Capitol Hill are pushing for an increase which will raise minimum wage to about $10.
This afternoon, the 911 tapes that hold the sounds of the tragic Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting are being made public for the first time. The release of these recorded sounds is upsetting to some, especially those directly affected by the rampage. One prosecutor argued to protect the families of the victims, the tape should not be released. The December 2012 shooting lasted 11 minutes and was the second deadliest shooting in the U.S. history, leaving 26 people dead, most of whom were children. Coming up, the latest reports and home sales are in.
While some people brave the crowds on Black Friday, others choose fun or deals from home. The details next on BUTV News. October's new home sales are up 25% according to a report released this morning. The government report compares the increase to the month before, and for the last year, new single-family home sales are showing a 21% increase. If you didn't find your bargains on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, you still have many deal days throughout December. Next Monday, December 9th, is known as Green Monday, green as in cash. The deals are often just as good as on Cyber Monday. December 18th has now become Free Shipping Day, so hundreds of online retailers will offer free delivery, guaranteed by Christmas. And for last-minute shoppers, December 21st has been dubbed Super Saturday. Stores are expected to discount their holiday inventory, which could bring some very good things to those who wait. Black Friday may be losing some steam to Cyber Monday, the online shopping holiday that follows Thanksgiving weekend. BUTV 10 Jessica Prati has a story. An IBM analysis reported purchases made from mobile devices made up 70% of overall sales on Cyber Monday.
Frontier Airlines is getting a new owner and a facelift. The airline based out of Denver has been purchased by Indigo Partners. The new owner plans to refashion Frontier as an ultra-low-cost airline. The deal is expected to allow Frontier to run feeder flights for bigger airline companies like Delta and United. Frontier Airlines will continue to operate primarily out of Denver International Airport. Owners of Newsweek plan to revive its weekly print edition as early as January of next year. The announcement came less than a year after the publication stopped printing the magazine in favor of their online outlet. The print material is expected to be repurposed from Newsweek.com, a site that is currently free to the public.
New technology can be credited with saving the lives of residents in a Roxbury building. Yesterday, EMTs arrived at Edelweiss Village for a routine medical call. Just the day before Roxbury, METs were issued carbon monoxide detectors that clip to the portable oxygen tanks that are carried into every call. The detectors show that on all 3 floors of the facility, carbon monoxide levels were 6 times the level at which evacuations are ordered. The problem was caused by a faculty heating system.
To heat the house in low-income areas, and that could save some lives, I really think.
60 patients were evacuated from the facility. The autopsy is now complete for Fast and Furious star Paul Walker, and the results will be announced this afternoon. A new video gives insight into the Los Angeles crash that killed him. You can see the trees getting taken out. After a minute, thick black smoke begins to rise, which indicates that the car did not burst into flames right away. The latest in sports news is next, including some Red Sox memorabilia up for auction.
And the details on the players who won't be returning to the Red Sox next season, stay tuned to BUTV News at noon.
Good afternoon and welcome to BUTV News at Noon. I'm Monica Akhtar.
And I'm Kami Wood, leading the news at this hour. A Danvers high school teacher is found murdered and a 14-year-old boy is in custody. Schools throughout the Boston suburb are closed at this hour due to the homicide investigation. CNN's Susan Candiotti has this live report broadcast just hours ago.
Police revealing in the district attorney's office that a 14-year-old young man.
Authorities say the teacher had a presence on social media. The heroic actions of a Nevada school teacher saved many lives when a 12-year-old opened fire at Sparks Middle School. But now the boy's parents could face charges since police believe he got the gun from his own home. Officials say the boy's parents are cooperating.
The other story capturing the national attention at this hour is a good one. The Red Sox will play Game 1 of the World Series tonight at Fenway, the first time in 6 years. Baseball fans are flooding Boston. Hotels are almost impossible to get, as are tickets. UTV reporters Chelsea Glinkman is live outside Fenway. Today at 4 p.m. on Channel 5, viewers will see crowds of Boston Red Sox fans brought together by TV host Ellen DeGeneres. DeGeneres used Twitter to challenge Sox fans to dress up as green monsters wearing red socks to qualify for her World Series ticket contest and to be on her show. Crowds of Fenway-inspired green monsters paraded through Marsh Plaza at BU and chanted for their favorite baseball team for hours in hopes of winning the hottest tickets in town. College of Communications senior Nikki Lazos won Ellen's contest, scoring a pair of World Series tickets and $5,000.
Deceased Boston Marathon bombing suspect Tamerlan Tsarnaev is said to have taken part in a triple homicide 2 years ago, according to federal prosecutors. The prosecutor's filing was used in the case against Tamerlan's brother and second Boston Marathon bombing suspect Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. The filing states that Tamerlan was involved in the slayings that took place in Waltham dating back to September 11, 2011. Ibrahim Todashev, who also had a role in the killings, told investigators about Tsarnaev's involvement in May. Prosecutors are hoping this will block Dzhokhar from obtaining certain information about authorities about his brother and the murders. A man was shot and killed in Methuen early Wednesday morning. He was outside of Methuen's Sahara nightclub when the incident occurred. The shooting happened around 1:30 a.m. on Bates Street. The victim, whose name has not been released, was pronounced dead at Lawrence General Hospital. The shooting is still under investigation. A Taunton man accused of breaking into homes and getting in bed with women is due in court today. The suspect, Miguel Erickson, will face a pretrial hearing in Taunton District Court. Erickson allegedly broke into homes, stole jewelry, and touched women while they were sleeping. He broke into homes located in the Winthrop Street area. The 43-year-old is being held on a $250,000 bail after pleading not guilty last week.
The latest poll from WBUR shows that the Boston mayoral candidates are locked in a tight race. City Councilor John Connolly has a slight lead of 41-39 over State Representative Marty Walsh. But as of right now, it's anyone's race. Election day is only 13 days away, and Boston mayoral candidates are getting heated. BUTV's Courtney O'Connell has the highlights of last night's debate between John Connolly and Marty Walsh. Next Tuesday's debate will air on WHDH Channel 7. Boston University's journalism professor R.D. Saul will moderate the debate. And don't forget, Election Day is November 5th.
It looks like John Henry has more than just the World Series on his plate this week. In a ruling on Monday, a restraining order sent the sale of the Boston Globe to the Red Sox owner screeching to a halt. Worcester Superior Court judge postponed the sale of the Boston Globe to Henry in the wake of 2009 lawsuit. Adult carriers of the Telegram and Gazette, a part of the New England Media Group to be sold to Henry, are suing for misclassification as independent contractors, which limited their benefits. Friesen ruled on Monday that the $70 million deal can only proceed if the New York Times assumes liability for the lawsuit. A decision will be issued later today. Coming up, learn how the recent government shutdown could affect this year's tax season.
And we'll have a live report from Washington, D.C., details on the most recent updates with the technical problems surrounding the Obamacare website. All that when we return. Even before it launched, red flags went up surrounding the Obamacare website. Insurance companies complained, and the site even failed a test run just days before it launched. But according to the nation's health chief, Kathleen Sebelius, nobody told the president there were issues, even though they knew in advance.
Clear fairly early on, the first couple of days.
So not before that, though? Not before
No,
October 1st? There was no concern at that point, either in the White House or at HHS?
I think that we talked about having testing going forward, and if we had an ideal situation and could have built a product in, a 5-year period of time, we probably would have taken 5 years.
Several top Republicans, including 2012 vice presidential nominee Paul Ryan, are calling for Sebelius to step down due to the program's problems. The Health and Human Services Secretary reports that nearly 20 million users logged on the Obamacare website, but only 500,000 Americans have actually created accounts. BUTV Washington's correspondent Brittany Exum is live at BU Washington Bureau with a look at how glitches are impacting residents in Massachusetts, a state with mandatory health insurance coverage. Brittany?
When you first try to sign up for Obamacare on a healthcare.gov website, as a resident of Massachusetts, the site redirects you to mahealthconnector.org.
Only 4% of Massachusetts residents are uninsured, according to the healthcare website. That could be attributed to the state's mandatory insurance law.
You'll have to wait to file your taxes this year, thanks to the government shutdown. The 2014 tax season was scheduled to start on January 21st. This start date will be delayed 1 to 2 weeks. The decision comes after IRS lost 16 days during the shutdown and fell behind on work. If you're hoping that means the filing deadline will also be pushed back, you're out of luck. Your forms are still due on April 15th. The price for college has risen once again, but not as much as in the past. The College Board announced that in-state schools cost just under $8,900 this year. That's a 2.9% increase in tuition over last year's costs. But on the bright side, this is the smallest increase in 3 decades. Out-of-state tuition and private schools saw moderate increases.
The highways are a little safer today now that a man police refer to as the motorcycle maniac is behind bars. The suspect, 29-year-old Daniel Rebello of Somerset, was arrested in Randolph on Tuesday. He allegedly pulled dangerous stunts on highways for months, often speeding up to 100 miles an hour and recklessly changing lanes. Rebello was driving with a suspended license and an unregistered bike. Boston has had quite the sports weekend with the famous head of the Charles and, most importantly, the Red Sox making it to the World Series.
All the news on who is pitching for the Sox in Game 1 tonight at Fenway and more when we return.